G'day everybody and welcome back. Okay, in this lesson I'm going to introduce you to something called levels. Okay, levels are fundamental to Revit um, because they help us control height of the elements that we build. Remember, Revit is we model things in 3 dimensions. Okay, so we need to be able to control uh, length, breadth, and height. Okay, and the height is done using levels. Okay, and we've got to set up some controls and constraints. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to view, create, rename, and reposition levels. Um, Again, don't forget to like and subscribe to help me grow this channel. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, now best place to see elevation levels, uh, any elevational or sectional views. So you can do it from either of these by default. Yeah, I am going to in my elevations here, in the building elevations, I'm going to go to the east elevation and I'm going to double click. Okay, so double left click. This shows us the elevational or the side view of the project that we drew. Okay, so previously we had built a topo solid at using the ground floor as a constraint. And we had generated some reference planes to help us understand where the building goes. Okay. Now, by default in this Revit template, we only get 2 levels. We need more than this to accurately build a dwelling. Okay. And the first one I want to do is create a floor level for the house, like a ground floor level. Okay, so what I'm going to do, we go to the architecture tab, we come across here to datum, and we have a button here called level, and there's a short code there, LL, that will also execute the command for you. Right, so just click on that level button. Okay, it's a single left click. We get our drawing things here. So you'll see here that we're only allowed to either draw straight lines or pick existing lines. Levels aren't curved, so we don't get that option. And as with Revit, we get our cursor changes to our crosshairs, and when we bring it into the drawing space, um, it's starting to give us some indications as to what it wants to do. Okay, now bottom left hand corner it says click to enter the level start point. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click the level about here. Okay, 1000 will be perfect to start off for our particular project. So I'm just going to go left click, and I'm just going to drag the my cursor to the right. Okay, and you'll see there that level 2 has been generated, and it has a 1000 there, which is to indicate its height in millimeters relative to the rest of the project. Now if I go left click, I don't need to line everything up at this stage, so if I go left click I will drop and confirm that level in place, and I hit the escape key twice to stop the command. Okay, so that created the level in the first instance. Okay, and it's just called level 2. So what I want to do here is I want to rename some of these levels to get them to make more sense. So first up, the ground floor. This is our topo solid. This is what we would call natural ground. Now, natural ground is not normally dead flat, but we're using that as an example. So what I want to do is I want to rename this level to better represent what it's lining up with. So instead of being ground floor, I want to change this to natural ground. Okay, so what I do is I go to the name of the level here. If I just click in there once and then click in there twice, I get a text box that I can then change. So I'm just going to change this to natural ground. I hit the enter key, okay, and it's asked me, do I want to rename my corresponding views? And the answer is yes, okay, because I want this ground floor plan here in my project browser to be updated. So if I go yes, there it is there. So natural ground here equals natural ground there. So that's the floor plan that corresponds with the level. Okay. What I can now do here in my thing is this level 2. Show you a little trick here. Okay, you'll see here that the level 2 is overlapping the natural ground. It can be a bit untidy. If I go to the left hand side of the level 2 thing, you'll see a little checkbox here, or what we call a bubble. Okay, if you click on in there, you'll get a little tick and the name of the level will appear there. So you can choose whether you have the name on both sides, one side, or no sides. You can turn them off. Okay, so that becomes your choice. So if I wanted to do that, I can go here, right, level 2, natural ground over there. I've got no crossover. I can easily read everything. Now I'm going to do a renaming here. I'm going to click on this where it says level 2. Now I'm going to call this one the ground floor. Okay, and clicking out of that a couple of times with my left mouse button. Okay, so what I've told Revit is you have natural ground, which will be the soil that you're building everything on. That's at 0. The ground floor is currently sitting at 1000 millimeters above that. The last one I want to sort out is this one here, level 1. Okay, so I'm going to change this. I'm going to change its name from level 1, and I'm going to call it ceiling. Okay, and I'm going to click out. Yes, I want to change the names of the corresponding views. And the last thing I'm going to do here is I want to change the height of this level here. So at the moment the ceiling is saying 4000 millimeters above ground, but you'll see here as well I have what's called a temporary dimension. Okay, temporary dimensions appear when you select elements and it can find something that's parallel or has a dimension that it can make sense with. Yeah. So if I select the ceiling level, it gives me a number of 3000 millimeters. Now that's too high. Okay, I don't want a really high ceiling level for this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this temporary dimension length and I'm going to change it to 2400. Okay, this equates to roughly 8 feet in imperial measurements. Okay, and this is the minimum ceiling level in Australia according to our National Construction Code for habitable spaces. So this is generally the minimum ceiling height that you would build any house to make it feel comfortable and to gain compliance. So I'm just going to left click or enter that. you'll see there that this number changed, which is the ceiling's level distance relative to natural ground. So that dropped by 600 millimeters. And the level itself physically moved down. Okay? So I'm going to do that another time. I'm going to change the ground floor plan. Actually, I'm going to show you, yeah, no, we'll do it this way. Okay, so I'm going to do the ground floor plan. Maybe I don't want it so high. Okay, so instead of 1,000, I'm going to make that 800 millimeters there. And again, watch what happens. The ground floor moved. Okay, that level physically moved in place. You'll see that the ceiling level didn't move, and that's now incorrect again. So it gives me the opportunity to show you another repeat. Okay, so I've clicked the level, go to my temporary dimension, and type in that number again. And again, I've brought that ceiling level down to that minimum ceiling height that compliance requires us to do. Okay. So what that does is that it sets us up for the next video, which is to create a floor. And the floor we're going to create is going to be at the ground floor. Okay, so that's why we did this. Righty ho. Until then, we'll leave that till the next video, and we'll see you soon.